Hi there. I will be going over the disclosure regarding real estate agency relationship this time. So this is what you need to sign. This is required by the state of Michigan that we explain to you the different types of agency relationships we can have with our clients and what type of agency relationship we are having with you for this transaction that we're doing. So let me get rid of my picture here. And this is bigger here. So it's the three-page document. So page one, before you disclose confidential information to your real estate licensee regarding the real estate transaction, you should understand what type of agency relationship you have with that licensee. So, real quick, the agent providing services under any service provision agreement owes at a minimum the following duties to the client. So, service provision agreement could be our buyer agency contract, and it could be our listing contract. The exercise of reasonable care and skill in representing the client and carrying out responsibilities of this agency relationship, performance of terms, performance of the terms of the service provisions agreement, which that would be, for example, the terms of our agreement is that you've hired me to sell your house for a certain price in a certain time frame based on our listing date and our expiration date, and those are the services that I'm attempting to perform for you. Third, loyalty to the interests of the client. You're loyal. Your interests are our interests, and we're doing our job representing you. Compliance with all laws, rules, and regulations, state and federal. Referral of the client to other licensed professionals for expert advice. So we are not, for example, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not a surveyor, I'm not an appraiser, I'm not an environmental expert. So if you want any of those things done, we will refer you to someone who does those types of things, or you can find your own, of course. In accounting in a timely manner of all money and property received by the agent in which the client has or may have an interest. Confidentiality of all information, of course. Section 2, a real estate broker acting pursuant to the service provision agreement shall provide the following services to his or her client. Excuse me. When a real estate salesperson is representing the seller, the marketing of the client's property in the manner agreed upon, acceptance and delivery of presentation of offers and counteroffers, assistance in developing, communicating, negotiating, and presenting offers, counteroffers, and any related documents for the purchase. After execution of a purchase agreement by all parties, assistance as necessary to complete the transaction are the terms specified in the agreement. So once we have an accepted offer, it's our job to make sure that gets to the closing table and complete that transaction. For a broker or associate broker who is involved in the closing of a real estate or business opportunity transaction, furnishing or causing to be furnished, the buyer and seller a complete and detailed closing statement. So we need to furnish you with a complete and detailed closing statement of the transaction. And Michigan law requires real estate licensees who are acting as agents of seller or buyers of real property to advise the potential sellers or buyers with whom they work of the nature of their agency relationship. So who am I working with to help you get your home purchased or get your home sold, basically. So again, we could be a seller's agent. Also, we call this the listing agent. So I'm listing your property. I'm the seller's agent. My job is to get the home sold based on the price and the terms that we've agreed to. We could be a buyer's agent. You've hired me to be your buyer's agent to represent you in the purchase of. I'm going to show you property. I'm going to advise you on pricing when you're ready to make an offer, and I'm going to negotiate an offer that's acceptable to you to get you the property that you want. Dual agents represent both parties at the same time. So I might have a listing and I might have a buyer. And if everyone is okay with that, we can sign what's called a dual agency agreement that everyone is aware and everyone is good with that. And if you're not good with that, that's fine as well. We will refer, if it's my listing and I also have a buyer and you're not cool with that, then I will refer that buyer to someone else in my company here to complete that transaction. Transaction coordinator. So you might have found a buyer for your house, and you get a hold of us and say, "Hey, I've already got a buyer. My cousin Jim wants to buy it. I just need someone to help me with the transaction, the paperwork. What do you charge for that?" So we do offer a flat fee transaction coordinator service to help coordinate the transaction because sometimes finding the buyer is the easy part. The hard part's getting through the whole process as far as inspections and negotiation and appraisal and all of that. And again, designated agency. This just says your designated agent will act solely on your behalf. We might have other agents within the same company that have designated agency relationships with other parties, and they're working as a designated agent for that person only. So, if I'm your designated agent for this transaction, then myself and my broker are the only ones that are your designated agent. So again, we can also have another agent in the company that has a buyer for your property, and they can represent their buyer, be a buyer's agent, and I can be your listing agent. That's perfectly legal and separate. So we will check which box we are working with here. And of course, we'll check that we are a designated agent company. and your designated agent will sign it, and you will sign it, saying whether you may or you do or do not have an agency relationship with another real estate licensee. Usually this is going to say does not, but in some situations it might say does. So say, for example, I'm selling your house here in Lenawee County, and you're buying a house up in Grayling, and you have another agent up in Grayling. So this would say that you do have an agent's relationship with someone else as a buyer, because you're buying a home with someone else in a different market that I'm not capable of helping you in. And everyone signs it, and that is it for the designated agent form. If you have any questions at all, get a hold of myself or the agent that you're working with in our team, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Talk to you soon.